Chairman to the stage, Shri V. Kalyanarama, former CMD, Container Corporation of India, Shri Manoj Varsne, MD and CEO, IFCO MC Crop Science, Dr. R.K. Sohane, Director Extension Education, Bihar Agricultural University, Professor Santosh Kumar Singh, Faculty and Dean, School of Liberal Studies, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Delhi, Dr. Naveed Hamid, CEO, Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship Center, Kashmir, Shri Faisal Imtiaz, CEO, Oakwood Agritech Private Limited, Shri Ganesh Nanote, farmer from Maharashtra. Where is Pooja, ma'am? We need two people to. Now I request Pooja to kindly come up on the stage to honor our guests. Shri V. Kalyanarama, Shri Manoj Varsne, Dr. R.K. Sohane, Professor Santosh Kumar Singh, Shri Faisal Imtiaz, Shri Ganesh Nanote, Dr. Naveed Hamid, Now I request the session chairman to kindly start the session. Thank you, sir.
So good afternoon, everyone. This session will be definitely a little tough session because everybody feeling hungry, but Navneet is not willing to give the break. I want to continue with the session. But we got a very learned panelists here with different backgrounds, with a lot of experience. I am very hopeful that the session will be very interesting with the inputs from all the panelists here with their varied background. So the session theme is to how technology and innovation can be used for making farming for the future, but I think for making farming sustainable for a marginal farmer. That's the most important aspect in India, how we can make the farming sustainable for a marginal farmer. We got a lot of fragmented land holding in India, and many a times we come across sad stories in the newspapers, farmers committing suicide, getting into the debt trap, not able to come out of the debt trap, and the farm waiver, loan waivers by various governments they announce. But really, are they helping them? I do not know. But if they are helping, then why there should be any farmer suicide? So the main important issue will be to make the agriculture rewarding, sustainable, which will be income generation, sufficient income generation for a marginal farmer. so that whoever is doing farming will be happily doing it and they are able to survive on the farming itself without any migration to the labor class from the farmer class. That's most sad part in India, where these farmers, they become laborers and come and say, try to get into the metro cities. There are a lot of technology and innovation has come into agriculture. In the last 10 years particularly, a lot of innovations have come. These innovations, how best they can be adopted for this marginal farming is a major challenge in India. There are many innovations done. Drones are being used. A lot of data is being collected. The data is available on the internet. But how best that can be made useful for the marginal farmer, that is a challenge in India, because even now, with all the government efforts to provide the data regarding the agricultural, the earth, the land, nature, what is to be, the fertilizers to be used, but still a lot of farmers, I think, are not able to really use that data because it is not reachable to them. I am from logistics. With my experience in last 40 years as a logistics man, and in my former role as CMD of Container Corporation, I have seen a lot of agricultural products moving in containers. But again, that is not helping really the marginal farmer again. A lot of aggregation has to be done to fill a container. And there are many issues. This agriculture, Indian Railways has announced, in fact carries agriculture at a very low tariff rates. Especially government keeps the tariff rates very low for agricultural products. But again, there are a lot of challenges for moving these agricultural products by railways. So normal agricultural products move more by road. The road transport in India is still not reliable. There are many issues in the road transport. There were some agricultural reforms the government tried to bring in, but there were again issues in that. So we have to address these things. Particularly the logistics has to be improved, which can be made the farmer to reach the market. That is again a major challenge for the farmer. So we are trying to work on some mobile solutions in the logistics. The present infrastructure model with mandis established at particular places and warehouses which are permanent structures are not really helping the farmers. We must get on to doing a mobile solution for this, where a mandi can be a mobile mandi and the warehousing also mobile warehousing. There are solutions available. In fact, we used for banana farming in Andhra Pradesh for the exports, where we set up the mobile collection center in collaboration with a freight forwarder, and the bananas are captured at the harvesting place. They got stuffed into containers and exported right from there. So these sort of solutions are very necessary to make this agriculture more rewarding. Not taking more of time. Now, I request Mr. Manoj Varshne to start the session with his inputs, with his background in the crop science. Over to Mr. Manoj.
Right, sir. Thank you very much. And thanks for this opportunity to express my views to Grey Matters and Agriculture Post. If I introduce to this topic, I have my own perspective and I'll summarize this one as, we talk of sustainable agriculture. So there are 4 things which are very important for one to emphasize on sustainable agriculture. So first is grow safe food, grow it affordable, right? Grow economical. So safe food for the consumers, economical for the grower, affordable for the consumer, and safe for environment. I think all these 4 aspects, if we are considering, I think all that put together will make it part of that. All these four are getting satisfied, the agriculture is sustainable. Now, having said that, I introduce my experience of working in agriculture. I have total 20 years of experience in agriculture, and all throughout how I have contributed to sustainable agriculture. The first one being in fertilizers. Around 10 years I worked in fertilizers, but I did not work on bulk fertilizers. I worked on specialty fertilizers. So wherein I promoted moving from the routine NPKs, moving it to the secondary nutrients and the micronutrients on the specialized water soluble fertilizers. So around 10 years I worked in that industry. So therein there were two things. One was introducing the products or the grades, and second one was working on the spray technologies. One was a foliar application of nutrients to boost the crop yields, and the second one was working on fertigation schedules, how to get the best out of a farmer's field, particularly in horticultural crops. The second, after 10 years working into specialty fertilizers, I moved on to seeds. Now here also sustainability. Now how seed industry contributes to sustainability is keep on retiring the old products and keep on introducing the new products, because every 6 years, and there was a principle we used to follow when I used to work in Pioneer Seeds, every 6 years think of how do you replace, because there is a fatigue, there is a genetic potential which comes down, and then look for environmental changes which are not making it produce more. So look to introduce that. And in fact, for 8 years, I served the seed industry. For the last 2.5 years, I have been serving the agrochemical industry. And what Mr. Rajvelu also said, that the first priority is agrochemical industry. Wherever I have been working, we do not work any red labeled chemistry, right? So that's one most important. Second thing is how we can contribute is to introduce the environmentally less, the application technologies. Now application technology wise, where you can introduce lesser required AIs going on the crop, and which are able to give the disease or the pest control, as well as they are not giving any harmful impact to the environment. So all put together, this has been my experience working on different technologies. I have worked on drones, I have worked on smart farming equipments, wherein mini weather stations. So this is all, and I think this is how these different industries have been contributing to make the farmer's life easy to produce safe and economical food. Now, I represent a company called IFFCO Mitsubishi Corporation. IFFCO, you already know, has been an Indian fertilizer giant, having more than 60% market share in the fertilizer sector. And a Mitsubishi Corporation is a Japanese counterpart. So they formed a joint venture to offer agrochemicals, quality agrochemical solutions at an affordable price to Indian farmers. And on 28th of August, this company is going to complete its 10 years in Indian markets. And this company has got a sizable business at this point of time and has got a huge potential to grow by offering various sustainable products as well as technology. Now, as you know, IFFCO has been working on one of the technologies, the nanotechnology, and wherein they have already introduced nano fertilizers, and which are becoming very, very popular in terms of the required amount of fertilizers for farmers to produce a crop. They are working on reducing it. The similar thing is that could be on the philosophy on the nano fertilizers, on which IFFCO MC also will be working on introducing nano pesticides, right? So there is definitely a possibility of using that technological expertise and offer that nanotechnology. So probably in some more time, as we are able to conduct more trials and be able to understand how we can reduce the usage of chemicals by reducing the amount of quantity it applies in the field, and then producing the similar kind of results. So more, that is one area for us to explore, and then we'll be working on. The another area where we are working on, as sir said, there is a need for extension, right? So now need for improved services as well as need for making them aware on what are the advanced solutions or advanced technologies. And definitely a lot of companies are having the mobile applications which are providing direct access of information to the farmers. I think the need is to refine that technology and refine that information, because farmer is having an information overload, right? Now in this information overload, how do we reduce that amount of information which is much more easily understood by him and easily adopted by him? So with this I would like to conclude. This is what my experience on sustainability, and I think definitely each one of us need to contribute to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj. You have well said that ultimately the aim is to go for the sustainable agriculture, safe, economic, and so that the crop is produced in a sustainable manner and the farmer gets benefit. I request now Dr. Sohane, who I was just hearing as expert on extension, to talk about the sustainable agriculture.
Thank you, Chairman. First, I would like to congratulate Grey Matters and thanks to inviting us for this important sustainable workshop. हम सभी जानते हैं कि हमारे बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री बड़े विजनरी हैं, डॉक्टर नीतीश कुमार जी, सभी लोग नाम से परिचित हैं। टेक्नोलॉजी भी था, इनोवेशंस भी था। क्लाइमेट चेंज की हम प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहे हैं बिहार में, पर्टिकुलरली कभी बाढ़ सुखाड़ तो हम फेस करते ही हैं। उन्होंने एक टास्क दिया बिहार एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी, RPCA, पूसा, ICR पटना एंड बीसा, इर्री एंड सिमिट को कि मुझे क्लाइमेट रिजिलेंट एग्रीकल्चर पे एक प्रपोजल चाहिए। हम लोगों ने एक प्रपोजल बनाया और उन्होंने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया। और उस प्रपोजल के कुछ आउटपुट मैं बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि प्रत्येक ज़िले में हम लोगों ने 5 गाँव को अडॉप्ट किया था। 38 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं। उन गाँव में हमने क्लाइमेट रिजिलेंट एग्रीकल्चर, क्लाइमेट रिजिलेंट एग्री प्रैक्टिसेस को प्रमोट किया उन 5 गाँव में। पर्टिकुलरली भी लेजर लेबलिंग प्रमोट किया, तो डेफिनेटली वहाँ पे लेबलिंग हमारी हो गई। देन भी अभी अजय जी बात कर रहे थे DSR की, फिर हम लोगों ने DSR प्रमोट किया पैडी पे। इनको प्रमोट कर उसके बाद हम लोग कंजर्वेशन एग्रीकल्चर में चले गए। रबी सीजन में राइस हो या वीट, पल्स एंड वाइल्ड सीड के केस पे, इन चीज़ों को प्रमोट करने से क्या हो रहा था कि जो हमारे किसान 2 के क्रॉप ले रहे थे, राइस वीट क्रॉपिंग सिस्टम पे डिपेंड थे, अब वो एक 3rd क्रॉपिंग सिस्टम मूंग पे चले गए, क्योंकि हमने जब पैडी अर्ली लगा लिया तो हमारा कंजर्वेशन ऑफ वीट, कंजर्वेशन टेक्नोलॉजी से वीट आ गया और हम एक 3रे क्रॉपिंग सिस्टम पे चले गए। नेक्स्ट जो लेबर की प्रॉब्लम आ रही थी वो सॉल्व हो गई, वाटर की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गई। डेफिनेटली फिर हमारा जो साउथ बिहार का एरिया था वहाँ पे हम कंबाइन हार्वेस्टर जब काट रहे थे तो वहाँ पर हमने बेल को प्रमोट, पैडी स्ट्रा के लिए बेलिंग को प्रमोट किया, और बेल को हमने कॉम्फेड के साथ MOU करके वो एनिमल फीड में हमने कन्वर्ट कर दिया और बेल जो बर्निंग की समस्या आ रही थी उसको सॉल्व किया। मैं चाह रहा हूँ कि ये जो कंजर्वेशन एग्रीकल्चर क्लाइमेट रेजिलेंट के लिए हमारे माननीय CM साहब ने ड्रीम लिया था, उससे कहीं ना कहीं हमारी क्रॉपिंग इंटेंसिटी उन गाँव में मोर देन 225% हो गई। फिर हमने टेक्नोलॉजीज के रूप में IPCO की मदद से, यूनिवर्सिटी की मदद से, ड्रोन से, अभी जो हमने DSR किया तो इस बार हमने ड्रोन से हर्बिसाइड किया, और IPCO ने सभी गाँव में नैनो यूरियास को प्रमोट किया कि आप ड्रोन से हम करवाएंगे। तो कहीं ना कहीं उससे भी हमारे फार्मर्स की कास्ट घटी। ड्रोन्स का हमने प्रमोट किया। प्रेसिजन एग्रीकल्चर जो फ्यूचर की बात कर रहे हैं हम, उसमें इन्हीं का समय है, AI की बात कर रहे हैं, इसको प्रमोट किया। तो इनके प्रमोट करने से कहीं ना कहीं फार्मर्स की कॉस्ट घटा और प्रोडक्शन बढ़ा। और सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर की जो बात कर रहे हैं, कहीं ना कहीं हमारा ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन 0.1 to 2% अभी घट चुका है, क्योंकि जब हमने मल्चिंग प्रमोट की तो हमारा जो माइक्रोबियल डीलिग्निफिकेशन है वो बढ़ा, कंसोर्टियम बढ़ा, तो ये चीज़ें बढ़ी। फिर हम लोगों ने एक ऐप बनाया ई निरोग ऐप से उन जितने भी हमारे किसान हैं वो कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होती है वो इमीडिएटली हम उनकी डिजीज एंड इंसेक्ट की सॉल्व कर देते हैं। सभी छोटी छोटी फिल्में बनाई। हमारा जो BIU का चैनल है वो वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट चैनल है, उसके 5 लाख सब्सक्राइबर हैं और मोर देन 4.85 करोड़ व्यूवर्स हैं। 4.85 करोड़ व्यूवर्स हमारे BIU सब और यूट्यूब चैनल के हैं। उनमें छोटी छोटी फिल्मों को हम प्रमोट करते हैं। अभी हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं कि गवर्नमेंट के पास 1.8 करोड़ फार्मर्स का डाटाबेस है। अभी हमने 3 डिस्ट्रिक्ट में मेघदूत स्कीम चला के क्योंकि उस डाटा को गवर्नमेंट के पास डाटा है, क्योंकि DBT सिस्टम से हम सारी चीज़ें भेजते हैं, उन फार्मर्स को हम रियल टाइम वेदर की इंफॉर्मेशन, रियल टाइम जो भी टेक्निकल इंफॉर्मेशन वो भेज रहे हैं। तो ये चीज़ों को हम जब इंटीग्रेट कर रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली कहीं ना कहीं हमारे फार्मर्स, पर्टिकुलरली बिहार में हमारे स्मॉल फार्मर हैं, मार्जिनल फार्मर हैं, उनको फ़ायदा हो रहा है, उनकी प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ रही है, प्रोडक्शन बढ़ रहा है और कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन कम हो रहा है और सस्टेनेबिलिटी एग्रीकल्चर कहीं ना कहीं प्रमोट हो रही है। ये एक हमारी कुछ फाइंडिंग्स है, आउटकम है उस प्रोग्राम के, जो कहीं ना कहीं फ्यूचर फार्मिंग में काम आ सकते हैं। इसे हम कहीं ना कहीं अप स्केल कर सकते हैं और बिहार में अगला जो हमारा 4th रोड मैप आया है उसमें ये चीज़ें अप स्केल की जा रही हैं। मुझे इतना ही कहना था।
वेरी वेल सेड डॉक्टर सोहाने साहब, बहुत बढ़िया है। आप बिहार में जो all these innovations you are taking to the ground and extending them to the farmers, they're really helping them. It's a good thing. So that is how the India has to progress and come into the sustainable agricultural mode. Now I request Professor Santosh Singh from Dr. Ambedkar University.
Thank you very much. Let me first of all thank the Grey Matter Communication team for breaking the silences. You know, I don't like silences, and precisely for this reason, I would like to thank this team for breaking the silences around the ideas of village, rural farmers, etc. in Delhi. This is a great week for Delhi, you know, and I'm sure many of you are following this week. Today we concluded this international conference of, agricultural economists in Delhi. And today we are beginning, the Grey Matter Communication begins with this. So I think there couldn't have been a better day for rural India. When Delhi talks about rural India, it makes a difference. So I first of all, let me in the beginning congratulate the Grey Matter Communication team for breaking these silences. This is important. This is precisely what I've been doing in my university in Delhi. I'm offering courses on sociology of agriculture. People have been talking about rural sociology and all of this, but given the fact in the last about 20 years, a large number of very fancy themes have come up, and large number of students are interested in that. You'll be disappointed to know that despite all of this, like villages disappeared from cinema, as you know. Villages also disappeared from the academia, from universities. I'm talking about precisely about that kind of silence. From a country where still about 60-70% people live in villages, they depend on villages, these kind of silences are pathological, isn't it? This is precisely for this reason that I came here. I know that I'm surrounded by the practitioners who know about agriculture much more than me. But there is a merit in this fact that a younger generation of students doing whatever in the university must know that there are 60-70% of your countrymen are looking for you, looking up to you. It's important for us to kind of keep talking about it. Some of the ideas which were in the morning, I remember Madam Prakash was discussing about and she was talking about the versusness between technology and how to create this kind of balance between organic and the fertilizer and all of this. And we all know that Green Revolution was the momentous occasion for India's agriculture in terms of interface between science, technology, and agriculture. That was the first. Of course, later on, so much has been written critically about what is wrong with Green Revolution. But mind you, this was in 60s. And this was part of the larger bandwagon of development. Nobody was talking about sustainability. The idea of sustainability emerged much later, At that point of time when Lal Bahadur Shastri was talking about Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, I think there were two major concerns for India. One was the territorial sovereignty, protect the boundary, and second was protect the food sovereignty, to bring about food sovereignty. Remember the history of famines and all of this. India needed that moment. So technology came as a miracle. We call it magic seeds, not without reason, isn't it? Norman Borlaug seeds, isn't? And that created revolution, 5 times more yield. And what could have been much more exciting than this? A country which was struggling to feed its population was getting 5 times more yield. But that is economists' way of looking at things. Sociologists don't look things merely in terms of yields. I always, from student life till now, always thought, why is only economists sitting in planning commission? Why not sociologists? Right? Because development understood the language of numbers. Or not. And in the morning, the minister was talking about the culture in agriculture. This is precisely what, as a sociologist, I'm interested in. Technology has to be receptive towards, sensitive towards the idea of culture. What kind of agriculture that we are promoting? There cannot be, and the lessons that we learned from Green Revolution were many, for example, that nature has threshold, land has threshold, water has threshold. Punjab, this is where we started Green Revolution, is the land of 5 rivers. And all of us now know there is no water in Punjab. What could be more ironic than this? This is a metaphor for our time, isn't it? It's a metaphor. Punjab doesn't have water, and the wells of Punjab, if you travel, I do research in Punjab. I taught in Punjab University for a good 10 years before coming to Delhi. And the wells have become museum pieces. You go there with your students and you find a generation of people coming there. Oh, there used to be a time where you used to come here, fetch water, etc. No water in Punjab. If this is what is happening, then we have to worry. And that is where I completely agree with you, ma'am, when you made this concern. There is a merit in, say, science and technology we need, of course. Who will say that we don't need science technology? We need science technology. We are talking about the precise agriculture nowadays. Use of AI, for example, use of GIS, etc. in agricultural mapping, etc. We need that moment. What I'm trying to say is that there is a merit in this kind of coming out of this versusness, technology versus community, etc. That is precisely why when I read the brochure of grey matter communication, I was excited. Not just because of the breaking of silences in Delhi, but also because of the kind of people you got together. Look at the number of people. Is there a sense of untouchability there? No. There are agribusiness people, there are people from academia, there are people from science, there are farmers. If India has to achieve Viksit Bharat idea, everybody has to come together. Nobody can do it alone, isn't it? So I'd like to congratulate your team for putting this idea together and getting everybody here. I think everybody has to, no chance of versusness between you and I. If that is the template, it will not work in today's time. I think we know it, climate change, etc. is happening, and farmers has been biggest hit by this climate change. It rains one day. No more of those, and I'm not romanticizing rain, remember, 6 days rain, drizzling. No, one day rain and everything gone. If this is what happens, what is this cycle of agriculture? And beautifully had many people like Radhika Chopra, Arjuna Padurai have written about the culture of agriculture, the rhythm between agrarian cycle and technology, right? So I'm not going to get further, but I'm only trying to say that there is a merit in getting out of this versusness, technology versus community, etc. No, this will not work. I think we must learn lessons from the kind of experiences we had. And the last bit, if there are crises in agrarian areas, many of us must need to look at this. Why some of these really difficult time that the farmers are facing are in the erstwhile Green Revolution zones. Vidarbha, Maharashtra, Punjab, Sangrur district. Farmers committing suicide? Oh, give me a break. When did we think of this? Never. Punjab was known as land of agriculture par excellence. But if this is happening, we'll have to take note of it. To Viksit Bharat to happen in our time, it is important for every collaborator to come together. I congratulate everybody here for this super, very exciting and a non-adversarial get-together. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Santosh Singh. I think it's very interesting that the course on sociology of agriculture is being run in the university. I hope more students will take to this. Dr. Navaneet has put a clock before us, so it is showing only 9 minutes, but there are 3 more speakers. So, not to be, no, I don't want to cut on the time, but at least If you can maintain 4 minutes, I think we will exceed only by 3 minutes more. I request Dr. Naveed and Hamid.
Thank you so much. Salam and namaskar to each and everyone here. And I am thankful to the organizers to provide me a space that I came from a place जिसको लोग जन्नत बोलते हैं, और जन्नत में भी सस्टेनेबिलिटी की बात उठी है. Yeah. I am the Chief Executive Officer of an innovation center. We have established it in an agriculture university, government agriculture university in Kashmir, region of J&K UT. And this is the university ranked at the 4th best state agriculture university. And we are the first, the number 1 innovation-led state agriculture university in India. See, I learned n number of stuff, n number of things from morning. But honestly speaking, मैंने ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम ही यहाँ सुनी. Everybody, जो मेरे पैनलिस्ट थे, we were discussing about the problems. But क्या हमने सिर्फ प्रॉब्लम्स को डिस्कस करना है? It's better to come up with a solution. It's better to deliberate more on the solution so that कि जो यहाँ हमारे पास बैठे हैं, they will, they will be, well versed and embedded with the solutions, so that when they will be back to home, they will try to, inculcate the sense of, what they have to do in the next phase of life. Yeah, I am here to, to discuss more about the case study, what we have done and what we are into. I am a small part of this agriculture university. I'm just 30. मेरी एज 30 साल है. But I have, alhamdulillah, I have very vast experience because I came from the Huddersfield University, UK. When I joined my state agriculture university, and the first and the foremost responsibility that was given by my honorable vice chancellor was that Naveed, you have to head the innovation, this incubation kind of stuff. This was very new when I, took over the charge as innovation, head. Very new. We have a very, a structured and what we can call the market feasible research in-house, but how to inculcate, how to translate the research into viable, technologies and product, that was quite missing. When I took over, and I just tried to sensitize, because यहाँ पे बहुत सारे panelists ने discuss किया कि that we have to train the mindset of the farmer. I think this is not true, as I believe. Maybe मैं गलत भी हो सकता हूँ. We have to sensitize more and more the minds of the young minds. We have to sensitize more and more the young minds of the scientists, the scientific fraternity. And sustainability सिर्फ fertilizer की तरह नहीं है कि हम ऑर्गेनिक करें या केमिकल करें. सस्टेनेबिलिटी में सारे क्षेत्र आते हैं. आपका एग्रीकल्चर है, आपका हॉर्टिकल्चर है, आपका वेटनरी साइंस है, आपका सेरिकल्चर है, आपका फिशरीज है, आपका फॉरेस्ट्री है. So we have to talk about the n number of aspects that we are, that are embedded in this broad term agriculture. As J&K is to be named as the horticulture rich UT of India, because हमारा 80% economy जो है वो horticulture based है. And मैं आपको बताऊं कि more जो वहां पे agriculture practices है 70-75% वो organic है. चाहे वो वॉलनट की बात करोगे, चाहे वो आप सेरिकल्चर की बात करोगे, फिशरीज की बात करोगे. बट सी व्हाट वी हैव टू फोकस मोर ऑन व्हाट टू डू नेक्स्ट. बिकॉज जब प्रॉब्लम्स मैंने वहां देखी कि क्या है हमारे एग्रीकल्चर या अलाइड सेक्टर्स में, देन वी केम विद ए पॉलिसी जहां पे गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया और हमारी जो गवर्नमेंट है, J&K UT की गवर्नमेंट है, उन्होंने हमें भरपूर सपोर्ट किया. एंड वी केम विद अ पॉलिसी जिसको हमने नाम रखा HADP, होलिस्टिक एग्रीकल्चर डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम. इट्स नॉट ओनली द पॉलिसी, बट वी हैव embedded 29 projects on agriculture and allied sectors, जिनका उद्देश्य, जिनका ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है कि एक हम सस्टेनेबिलिटी को बढ़ावा दे और जो एग्री स्टार्टअप कल्चर है उसको हम कहीं ना कहीं पे बढ़ावा दे. दैट्स व्हाई right now I am proudly, it's a proud moment for all of us and for me as well कि हमारी जो गवर्नमेंट है वो ज्यादा फोकस कर रही है अभी J&K पे. और दैट्स वाई कि हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी जो है अभी 112 ऐसे स्टार्टअप्स है जो एग्रीकल्चर और अलाइड क्षेत्र पे काम कर रही है, और जहां जहां उसमें 40-50 स्टार्टअप ऐसे हैं जो अभी जिन्होंने दिखाया है फार्मर को कि दैट व्हाट दिस सस्टेनेबिलिटी मीन्स. एंड आई होप, क्योंकि टाइम बहुत है, आई एम शॉर्ट ऑफ टाइम, मैं आप सभी को आई एम inviting all of you to visit our center, visit our university, so that we may have one-to-one collaboration and one-to-one brainstorming on different aspects as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Naveed, for sharing your thoughts. Before listening to the actual farmer, Sri Ganesh Nanote, I'll request Sri Faisal Imtiaz, who is from the industry, share his thoughts. Sir, 4 minutes.
I will take less than that. Hello to everyone, especially the students behind there and my fellow panelists and esteemed guests. So now the topic is sustainable agriculture. So I would like to just share that why we need a sustainable agriculture. So the main objective of having a sustainable agriculture is to provide access to every individual sufficient, safe, and nutritious food around all year around. So that is the main objective. Then how we will achieve this? So everyone is talking about that we need to increase the crop yield. We need to do change. We need to have more seeds who can produce more productivity and all. So I agree with that part, that crop yield is very important. But it is equally important to transform the existing, you can say the existing food system in India, or across, I can say across all developing countries, to make it more efficient, sustainable, and more resilient. So how we can achieve that thing? So at AgriKheti, what we believe that we need to integrate the complete agri value chain with robust technology and with data science and AI technology, so that every individual, especially the marginalized farmer, should have access to those technology, because a lot of technological innovation is happening to big farmers, to big farming companies, to big farmlands and all. So nobody is thinking about marginal farmers. So by integrating this technology, agri value chain, I want to highlight here that nobody in India, they are integrating agri value chain as a whole in a holistic manner like we are doing. So every stakeholder, specialized, including the marginal farmer, should have access to technology yeah. Okay. So let me know how we are addressing this particular problem at our AgriKheti company. So first of all, our first objective to give the access to technological access tools to everyone. So access to everyone across agri value chain. Everyone should have access to market linkage. Everyone should have access to input market. Everyone should have access to market prices, weather forecast, and best practices that we are all doing. So how, and this will help the marginal farmer by empowering marginal farmer to take informed decision, to calculate their losses, to control their losses and all. The second thing what we are doing for sustainable farming, that we have created one tool, which is Crop Planner tool, which is backed by powerful GPS system, which is backed by geospatial technology, and which is backed by IoT devices. By providing this tool to farmer, they are really utilizing their agri inputs like water, like fertilizer, like pesticides, like any other crop protection products, when and where exactly and what quantity they need. So this is also very important, that farmers should have tools so that they can apply the input in a proper manner, not only just to focusing on increase the crop yield and all. And then they need to, and since this particular tool is linked with geospatial technology, so this so farmer can monitor their crop, right, on instant basis based on satellite images and the crop health. When there is a biostress in which area of farm, so farmer is getting instantly that thing, and so that they can do some operational exercise and proactive. They can take the proactive measures to get rid, to resolve that, to solve that problem. The last thing, what we are doing at AgriKheti, that we are collaborating and doing a partnership. So what we did in Punjab, we have done a partnership with local FPOs, and the result of that thing, that local FPO becomes seller on our platform. They are purchaser in our platform for agri input, which are not available in the in Punjab market, and at the same time their members become a service provider on our platform. So this is how in these three main areas we are just working. We are working and giving and providing the technology to marginal farmers so that they can be part of this sustainable agriculture. So that's all my submission.
Thank you, Faisal ji. Now I request Sri Ganesh to share his experience. He is the farmer. Till now we had what is to be done. Now let's hear what is done.
सभी को नमस्ते। मैं हिंदी में बात करूंगा, मुझे तो बराबर हिंदी भी नहीं आती और इंग्लिश भी नहीं आती, तो थोड़ा समझने की कोशिश करिएगा, थोड़ा मैं आपको रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ। तो जो आज का सब्जेक्ट है सस्टेनेबिलिटी, ये काम तो मैं पिछले 27 साल से कर रहा हूँ, जो मैंने उसमें मैं सक्सेस भी हुआ हूँ। यानी जो मिट्टी का सॉइल हेल्थ कैसा मेंटेन करना है, तो मुझे अभी तक उसको मुझे सीखने समझने में करीब 25 साल लगे। तो अभी तक यानी 2-4 साल से अभी मेरा ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन टोटल मेंटेन आ रहा है। सब मैं यानी जब कोई बात नहीं, जिस बात की नहीं हो रही थी, उस टाइम से मैं ये बात कर रहा हूँ। तो क्योंकि मुझे परिवार मेरा सब खेती के ऊपर ही है, क्योंकि मेरा दूसरा इनकम सोर्स नहीं है। क्योंकि अभी तो क्योंकि मिट्टी ऐसा है, यूज एंड थ्रो उसमें चलता नहीं है। मिट्टी आप काम होगा फेंक दो, दूसरा लाओ, ऐसा नहीं होता है। वो उसको आप मेंटेन करना ही मैंने उसको निरंतर चलना चाहिए। तो लोग कहते हैं कि भाई अगली पीढ़ी को मिट्टी को अपने को अच्छी देना है, ज़मीन अच्छी देना है। मैं तो कहता हूँ कि भाई 3 साल के बाद अगर आप क्रॉप लेते हैं, आपको अगर ज़्यादा क्रॉप लेते हैं तो 3 साल के बाद वो मिट्टी, मुझे पता नहीं, अब हमारी एरिया की बात कर रहा हूँ, तो अगर कोई अच्छी सॉइल तो होगा तो वो क्रॉप होता होगा उसको। लेकिन हमारे यहाँ तो अगर 3 साल में तो ज़्यादा क्रॉप लेते हैं, तो बाद में 3 साल के बाद उसको मर्यादा आती रहती है, उसका क्रॉप कितना भी फर्टिलाइजर डालो उसको कम आते रहता है। तो उसके लिए मैंने थोड़ा पहले से मेरे मिट्टी की मर्यादा समझ ली थी कि उसके लिए हिसाब से मैंने मेरा काम किया है। तो सॉइल अलाइव तो फार्मर अलाइव, ये मेरा स्लोगन है। अगर मिट्टी जिंदा है तो किसान का परिवार जिंदा है। तो अगर आपकी मिट्टी ये हो जाती है तो सब प्रॉब्लम आज आपके परिवार के सामने प्रॉब्लम शुरू हो जाते हैं। तो अगर आप, क्योंकि अभी मैंने क्या किया कि जो अपना अभी को जो टेक्नोलॉजी, प्रगत टेक्नोलॉजी है और अपना ट्रेडिशनल, उसका समन्वय साथ के उसका बीच में का रास्ता निकाला है। मैं फर्टिलाइजर यूज़ करता हूँ, मैं पुरानी जो बातें हैं वो भी मुझे बाप दादा से सीखते आता रहा, जो सीखा है मैंने वो भी यूज़ करता हूँ। ऐसे करते करते मेरा ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन मैंने मेंटेन रखा है। तो उसमें मेरे क्रॉप पैटर्न भी मैंने ऐसा रखा है कि भाई उसका फेर पालट करता हूँ। अगले साल इसमें कॉटन लिया तो अगले उसमें सोयाबीन लूँगा, उस तीसरे साल उसमें दूसरा क्रॉप लूँगा। ऐसा फेर पालट करते करते मैंने उसको समझ लिया। और मेरी मिट्टी थोड़ी यानी 2-3 टाइप की है, तो उसमें मैं क्या करता हूँ कि भाई मैंने उत्पादन की मर्यादा रखी। आपको कोई अच्छी बात, बहुत सारे आप सब होशियार लोग हैं कि उसको आपको अच्छी नहीं लगेगी। मैंने मेरी खेती के हिसाब से मेरी मर्यादा रखी है। मेरे अगर एक खेत मेरा अच्छा है तो उसमें मैं 10-12 क्विंटल कॉटन के ऊपर जाने देता, क्योंकि मुझे पता है अगर मैं 15 के 16 अभी जाऊंगा तो मुझे आगे जाके उसको प्रॉब्लम आएगा। तो मेरी मिट्टी उसी हिसाब से उसका यानी कितने दिन खेत में रखना है, ये सब मैं मर्यादा को रखता हूँ। क्योंकि मेरे पास दूसरा इनकम सोर्स नहीं है। अब ख्याल करिएगा ये मैं 25 साल से मेरे दिमाग में आते आते अब मैं यहाँ तक आया हूँ। और कुछ ऐसा भी होता है, अगर 2-3 साल ज़्यादा अगर क्रॉप अगर मौसम अच्छा रहा तो कभी कभी क्रॉप अच्छा आ जाता है, तो मैं एक आधे बार एक सीज़न में उसको थोड़ा कम सीज़न का क्रॉप लेके कम टाइम का उसको थोड़ा 2-3 महीने आराम भी देखते रहता हूँ। मेरा तो कहना है कि मैंने अप्रैल में मैंने 100 दिन का मेरा 1 साल का 100 दिन मिट्टी खाली रहे, ऐसा मेरा प्लानिंग रहता है। तो सस्टेनेबल जो अपना विषय है ना, तो अगर आप मिट्टी का अगर साथ में लेके चलो तो ख्याल करते रहो तो उसमें आप दुनिया की भूख मिटा सकते हैं, अन्ना अपना परिवार भी चला सकते हैं। तो उसमें क्या किया मैंने, क्योंकि अभी उत्पाद लेना तो कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, अभी निविष्ठा कितनी भी है, यानी फर्टिलाइजर है, जैविक निविष्ठा है। अभी तो हमने सुबह IPL का एक लैब भी देखा है, कितना काम हो रहा है जैविक का अभी, तो PGR भी आ रहा है, सब जो चाहिए वो आपको मिलने वाला है। निविष्ठा उत्पाद लेना कोई यानी बड़ी बात नहीं है, उसमें आपको सलाहकार भी कंसल्ट, आपके पास एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी भी है, KVK भी है, NGO भी है, और सब आपको यानी आपके तक सब आपके पास लोग आ रहे हैं। प्रिंट मीडिया, आकाशवाणी, दूरदर्शन, यानी उसमें सबसे बड़ी बात सोशल मीडिया, यानी हर किसान अभी कोई ना कोई ग्रुप में जुड़ा हुआ है व्हाट्सएप पर, सब जानकारी उसके पास आती रहती है, मौसम की आती है, कौन सा पेस्टिसाइड आ रहा है, कौन सा उसमें रिजल्ट क्या है, जानकारी के किसानों को कोई तकलीफ नहीं है, सब सलाह अच्छी तरह मिल जाती है उसको। तो ऐसा उसके पास सब तैयार है, और टेक्नोलॉजी भी है, GM जैसा टेक्नोलॉजी अच्छा है मेरे पास। GM जब से मैं यूज़ कर रहा हूँ तो मेरा उत्पाद में बहुत सारी बढ़त हुई है। मैं कॉटन का किसान हूँ, बाकी क्रॉप को मुझे पता नहीं है, क्योंकि हमने जब से BT कॉटन लगा है तो हमारे बहुत यानी एवरेज में बहुत सारा फर्क पड़ा है। तो सॉइल हेल्थ के लिए मैं अब अहम सवाल मैं बताता हूँ कि सॉइल हेल्थ मैंने कैसे मेंटेन किया है। तो अभी यहाँ पे पंजाब हरियाणा में पराली जलाने का बहुत बड़ा इशू है, तो मैंने 96-97 में पहले बार गेहूँ का जो कचरा आता है वो गाड़ना चालू किया, ज़मीन के अंदर उसमें गाड़ के उसको पानी दे के उसको सड़ा के चालू कर दिया। तब मैं हमारे यहाँ पे एक कहावत है कि जिसकी मिट्टी अच्छी वो सब में किसान बढ़िया, लेकिन मुझे लोगों ने बहुत गलत बात किया, अरे जो नहीं कहना का वो पागल तक कहा मुझे कि भाई ऐसा कैसा होता है क्या। तब से मैं कर रहा हूँ, पिछले 17 साल से भाई कॉटन का बहुत बड़ा पेड़ आता है, कम से कम 1600-1700 ग्राम का एक झाड़ आता है, उसको 17 साल से ज़मीन में गाड़ रहा हूँ मैं। तो जो खरपत है यानी जो तना है हमारे 10 साल से उसको भी मैं ज़मीन में गाड़ रहा हूँ, तो मेरा ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन 0.70 से 0.90 मेंटेन रहा। तो ये मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी बात। अगर मैं इकोनॉमिकल थोड़ा गरीब हूँ लेकिन मैं ज़मीन के हिसाब से अमीर हूँ। मुझे कॉन्फिडेंस है कि भाई मेरा परिवार भूखा नहीं रहेगा, क्योंकि मेरी मिट्टी जिंदा है। ये सस्टेनेबिलिटी के लिए अगर आप दुनिया को भूख मिटानी है, आप सबका परिवार चलाना है। मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा पैसे की मैं बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, इनकम सोर्स तो पैसा तो सबको होना है, परिवार तो चलाना है। मैंने बच्चे पढ़ाए, मेट्रो सिटी में पढ़ा है, मैंने यूनिवर्सिटी सब ग्रेजुएट किया है, शादी किया है, सब मैं सब कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन किसके हिसाब से भरोसे कर रहा हूँ। सब एवरेज यानी फर्टिलाइजर का बराबर यूज़, सब यानी नींबू यानी पेस्टिसाइड, हम करीब पेस्टिसाइड का 40% यूज़ करते हैं किसान, खेती हम कॉटन वाले किसान है, लेकिन मैं नीम का यूज़ करता हूँ पहले स्प्रे से। उसमें मैं उसका 12 ग्राम चला तो कम करते करते बराबर मैं हिसाब से उसको चलाता हूँ, यानी इतना परफेक्ट काम करता हूँ कि मेरे का खर्चा कम हो जाता है। फर्टिलाइज़र भी मैं बहुत कम करता हूँ, यानी खेती कॉटन के लिए बहुत सारा फर्टिलाइज़र लगता है, लेकिन मैं दूसरे साल वो खेत में सोयाबीन की बुआई करता हूँ, उसमें फर्टिलाइज़र डालता नहीं हूँ, क्योंकि मेरी मिट्टी और दोबारा जो अगले साल में उसमें कॉटन बुआई करूँगा तो उसमें अपने आप उसको कम यानी उसको सपोर्ट करती है मेरी मिट्टी। मेरा ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन अच्छा है, मेरी मिट्टी जिंदा है, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मुझे कोई फिक्र नहीं है। तो मेरा ये जो कंसेप्ट है तो बहुत सारे किसान उसको फॉलो भी कर रहे हैं, तो यानी अभी उसकी शुरुआत हुई है।
गणेश भाई
तो जो ये मिट्टी का है तो मैं उसको बाद में मेरा जो सॉइल का हेल्थ है बहुत अच्छा है, अभी तो मैं ठीक हूँ। धन्यवाद जी इसको प्लान।
गणेश भाई आप बहुत बढ़िया एक चीज बोला। आई थिंक नवनीत यू कैन यूज इट इन योर ट्वीट्स एंड ऑल योर फ्यूचर सेमिनार्स। मिट्टी जिंदा है तो फार्मर फैमिली जिंदा है। तो आई थिंक दिस इज द टेक अवे फ्रॉम दिस कॉन्फ्रेंस एज फार एज आई एम कंसर्न। बहुत अच्छा बोला द प्रैक्टिकल चीज़ को। And I think session is very interesting. Session was very interesting with all the inputs given by all the experts. Thank you very much.
I'll just take a moment to talk about the session chairman. He's been very kind and generous. An illustrious Indian Railway Audit Service Officer, Traffic Service, sorry, Indian Railway Traffic Service Officer. He helmed Container Corporation of India, and during his stint, he introduced many innovations. We have had some opportunity to work very closely with Sir, and he is visionary. So he transformed Container Corporation of India. And before we break for lunch, a big round of applause for the session chairman and all the panelists.